Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I have some free advice for Qtronman. He asks, what should he do with a kid who's troublesome? Frankly not interested in learning, 12, 13 years old. Lisa Van Dam had to kick one kid out of the school. What should Qtronman do? His name's Ryan. And I definitely do have quite a bit of advice on the subject. So, since it's of general interest, I'm sure, to several people, I will put this out here in video response. I think that there are two methods you can use to motivate a kid who just doesn't care. He doesn't care. You tell him, listen, this is important. You tell him someday you're going to need a job. Your mommy's going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. You won't be able to come to school. You know, all kinds of things you can tell him. And he doesn't care. He'll do anything to disrupt and upset and destroy. But if you can get him somehow into competition, or pay him something from which he can get rewards. Money's a bad one, especially for me. I'm not making much right now, so how am I going to pay the kid anything? So I have an artificial system of money, and we do auctions for little toy soldiers and whatever little things we have. So there are two incentives, competition and money. I'll just comment on the first one first. Competition. I noticed that my youngest student in the school, when I opened the school, Tabitha, 6 years old, I noticed that she didn't have an incentive to do better than anyone else. She was the youngest. Everyone always let her off the hook, including the teacher. She let herself off the hook. It was very easy. But then when we got a student younger than her, it became a bit of a problem. She didn't like being outdone by a younger student. So she decided she's going to step up her efforts a little bit. Here comes, so this is JJ. And we have JJ for a while, and then we decide we can take Junior. JJ's working out pretty well. She's actually catching up with Tabitha. JJ wasn't actually doing really good, we discovered later. Once we got Junior in there, JJ really stepped up her efforts, and then we discovered what she could really do. And now Junior doesn't care. Now Junior's the slack. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care what you think, and maybe he'll have to leave the school and he doesn't care, and he'll yell and he'll hit people. Then we get the two twins, Brandon and Austin. And then suddenly Junior is elevated to a slightly more responsible position. It keeps pushing everybody in the ladder up. Same thing happened with Caden. Caden and Tabitha were the first two students I had. Very quickly followed by Qtronman, who's their sibling. They were the first three students. Caden and Tabitha in the school together, in the class together, didn't give Caden much to measure against. Tabitha's so far below him. So he never had to step up to the plate. But all of a sudden his younger brother's hitting above his average. Now he has to step up. And you can do that with age anywhere. This is why it's an absolute total tragedy to separate ages in the schools, because age competition is the most effective and objective, I may add, method of motivating a kid. Look at this. He's 4 months younger than you. You can't outdo him. That's not something you say to him, but age competition is always able to push a kid up, no matter what age they begin at. And it is the case that sometimes the age competition fails, and sometimes you need extra motives. For example, I had Caden, who's a year and a half older than Qtronman. Caden did not know how to spell, didn't care, and the schools had told him that he had a particular type of disorder. They called it a specialness, a disease. And it made him subject to special treatment, and he got special attention from it. And one of the symptoms of it was that he couldn't spell. And I said, that's bullshit, in so many words. Your younger brother can spell better than you. Why can't you spell this? I just couldn't get it month after month after month. Then I started charging him owlers. It started costing him money. Every mistake he made. In words that he had spelled correctly last week, but this week he can't. Right? That is not any type of disorder. That is some sort of laziness. I actually know it. I suspected it, and I know now that it is, because Caden describes himself as an absolutely flawless speller. He calls himself a professional speller. Now, I don't know where he picked up the context for the use of the word professional, but he considers himself a professional speller. He's no longer one of those slack spellers. He can do it if anyone can do it. That's his attitude now on spelling. It took monetary competition, not just age competition. If you're tutoring the kid by himself, good luck. That's all I can say. The child has to have intense amounts of motivation to be able to do anything with just you and him. Monetary contribution, monetary, solicitation stuff, you can do to some extent. This kid's pretty old, so he's going to get cynical pretty easily. And the only context I can see would help him in is getting competition of kids that are younger than him. And that's going to push you into opening a school. If you decide you want to go that direction, take heart. People have done it before you, and there is much advice available from Lisa Van Dam, myself, and others.